everyone, we're here today to discuss the Web Customized Facial, how the steps work in conjunction with using the AW Clinicals line, and then also some of my favorite things that I like to do in my own treatments. So we're going to get started with our gorgeous model here today. Her name is Brandy, and the first thing you'll notice about Brandy is a couple of things. One is I have a nice white towel covering up her gown because gowns can get destroyed pretty quickly when we're using different types of products, so that's always important. I want to see Brandy's entire chest, all of her neck, and all of her face because I'm going to do a treatment that's going to be consistent throughout. I would never want to treat her chest without treating her face. To me, it's like a disservice. The other thing is Brandy is laying on this amazing hot water pillow. It can be hot, mild, cold if you want it to be. Most of our clients, I would say, prefer it hot. And notice how I'm turning her head to the side and I'm making sure all of her little baby hairs are going back in the right direction, right? That's extremely important. Also, it kind of gives your client a chance to relax for just a couple of minutes before they're getting started on the treatment. I go to the other side, take all those little baby hairs, and let's push them all the way back. So at this point, I'm going to ask Brandy, how does your pillow feel? Do you feel like it's supporting your neck properly? Mm-hmm. Okay, wonderful. And does it feel too warm? No. Does it feel nice?
Feels just right.
Awesome. Okay, so I like to kind of take her hair and give her a nice little squeeze, because in just a second, I'm going to clean my hands. And so I want to make sure that I've set a perfect palette around me. And then I'll sanitize before we get started. I prefer to do sanitizer, and then I come back in with our mist, spray my hands down, and wipe them on a towel. I don't like the smell of alcohol to reach my client's face. If I had a sink, I would get up and thoroughly wash my hands and sit back down. Okay, so before we get started, I'm going to introduce you to some of my favorite tools. The first is this simple waxing stick, which also kind of looks like a popsicle stick. I'm going to use this similar to a dermaplaning handle, and throughout different stages of the treatment, I'm going to use it to massage away dead skin cells, to create more blood flow, and just like dermaplaning, to actually smooth out the texture of the skin. It's not a sharp blade, it's not going to go as deep into the skin, but it's going to be highly effective. Alright, the next tool that I have for you today is just my handy dandy little tweezers. Tweezers come in all shapes and sizes. You'll have to pick the ones that are best for you, but in the Web facial, I always take care of their eyebrows. I've been doing it that way for 20 years, and I think it's quite a service. You know, people feel like we've done something really special for them. And another tool that I like to use is makeup brushes. And you're going to see throughout the treatment exactly what I do with these guys. I have a small one and a large one. I use them for my eye treatments, I use them to paint the mask on, and so forth. Alright, so let's get started. I touched her hair, so I'm going to clean my hands one more time. I'm very particular about making sure that I don't bring bacteria from the hair onto the skin. Brandy has very beautiful skin. I see only a few slight blemishes in some areas, but most people come to see us because we are known for treating severe forms of acne. So it's really important that we don't transfer bacteria where we don't necessarily need to. So the first thing we're going to do is start off with the cleansing milk. Web Clinicals has a cleansing milk regular and a cleansing milk sensitive. I start out on the chest. Everything starts below and works its way up. Everything starts below, and then we work our way up. I think that the cleansing part of the facial is where the magic happens. And you will notice that I'm probably going to do the longest cleanse you've ever seen. We're going to start by putting the first layer of cleanser on. Some people like to do, a second cleanse all together. But I like to do more of what I call creating a mask. So it's a cleanser, but it's a mask. And that's why AW Clinical cleansers are designed to be left on your skin at night and then massaged away with a warm, wet washcloth when it's time to take them off. So here I go, layer number 2. And you see, I have it thick. I'm not afraid to apply product to the skin. So in our treatments, we offer a complimentary mini eye treatment because we want people to be introduced to our full add-on eye treatment. If you're seeing someone for the first time and they don't know what our eye treatment is, they're very unlikely to sign up for it. So I am going to give her a little taste of what the AndWeb eye treatment looks like. Also, I want her to feel that I'm being incredibly thorough. Do you feel comfortable there, Brandy? Mm-hmm. So once I get my second layer of cleanser on, I'm going to do a couple things. First thing is I am going to start working in the eye area. So I'm going to get a little more cleanser, apply it to my brush, and softly work around the eye area. You can see she's already blinking because it's awkward to have people in that space. Once she gets used to what I'm doing, it's going to feel a lot more comfortable. I'm putting the cleanser there because I want to actually put a peel there, but I have to start off slow so I don't scare her. I love using makeup brushes. Open up for me, Brandy. It's a great way to come in and really get the eye area cleansed. Also, it saves your clients from walking out of an amazing facial and looking in the mirror and then seeing raccoon eyes. So don't be afraid to take your time with your brush and go around and cleanse the eye area. Close for me, big girl. Good job. This is my bigger brush. Most of the time I'm using a smaller one, but you use what's handy for the day. I don't want to waste the cleanser, so I kind of move it around on the skin. And Brandy is slightly red, so we want to take it gentle with her. And I'm going to use the regular mist on her. I like to start misting pretty high up, because if I mist low, her eyes are going to squinch and it's going to scare her. The other thing I like to do is kind of just lightly cover the eyes. I am a misting fan. Now I'm going to take this waxing stick and I'm going to move it around and start to remove cleanser and dirt, just as if I was dermaplaning. And as you know, those of you who dermaplane, you can dermaplane the skin wet or dry. But this is a much safer and less scary way to do it. There is no way that you can cut someone with this stick. So I just move back and forth. I actually move the product around and then reapply it. It's almost like taking the icing off of a cake and then putting it back on. When I'm doing treatments in LA, oftentimes I have to go onto set and I don't get to bring any amazing equipment with me. I don't get to have all the awesome lasers that we have in Austin. I just have to go there with a few tools just like this and make magic happen. And this is absolutely one of the best things that I feel like I do for my clients, because we are removing excess dead skin, which clogs the pores. Less clogged pores means less blackheads. Less blackheads mean less extracting of the skin. Less extracting of the skin means less destroying the skin, right? I just got off the phone with someone that I had a little bit of a debate with about extractions. And once I explained to her the fact that when you empty out pores, they're going to fill right back up because there are little hairs in your pores called melanocytes that's telling your brain to fill those pores back up. Now, once it's time to empty the pore out again, the hole's bigger. So you stretch it out, you fill it back up. You stretch it out, you fill it back up. If you're going to take something out of the skin, it really needs to make sense. And also, I believe if I'm going to extract something, if there's something I really want to come off, I want to do that right in the end, and then put something in that hole that's going to kill the bacteria or soften up what's left and help the pore to close up a little smaller or a little tighter. If I extract something right now, then the rest of this facial, all of these products, all of this bacteria has the ability to get in that hole. Does that make sense? Make sense to you, Brandy? Mm-hmm. Great. As you can see, I'm a cleanser junkie. I had to put another layer on. And we're going to work on her chest for just a minute. Making sure that we're just moving the blood flow around. Scraping off dead skin cells. Brandy has gorgeous skin, but she did express to me that she's starting to see redness in capillaries. I told her today I don't think she should ever get dermaplaning. I think dermaplaning is amazing for thicker, calloused, and more clogged up skin. But Brandy does not fit into that category. Okay, at this point, I'm ready for a warm towel. I've treated her eyes, I've treated her neck and face, and her chest. We are ready to go. So this is our cleansing step, but also our cleansing mask. So because I don't use steamers in the Web facial, it requires for you to have a really nice warm towel. I check it for heat purposes, making sure it's not too warm for her skin. I don't want to create additional redness. And then I place it on the chest first. Once I hold it there for a second, then I make sure, this is important, make sure that the towel opens this way. You're going to need it in this fashion in just a minute. I wrap the skin up. I make sure that I cover the sides of the face really well. And yes, the towel is getting her hair a little bit damp, but I'm very careful to keep product out of the hair and just a little water. That way I can dry it off at the end and she'll be good to go. While the towel is sitting on the skin, I'm going to start out and do a little massage, because my next step is going to be enzymes and an acid pill, and I want them to feel really comfortable with the fact that they have more aggressive things going on their skin. So if I can put them in a little relaxation stage right now, that's very helpful. I did something very simple. I took the unscented moisturizer, which is like everybody's favorite product here. It's the base that we use for our prescriptions. Notice how I had enough moisturizer, see my little hand, to go directly under that hot water pillow. The hot water pillow just basically helps to support my back. It almost acts as a lever. I can lift her up, I can do different things. If the hot water pillow is lukewarm, it oftentimes doesn't feel comfortable at all. It's really important that the placement and the temperature is right. You're going to have your own ideas of massage techniques. I have some I've used for a long time. I've stolen them from other massage therapists. You just have to do what feels comfortable to you. I love to work from this direction. I take my hand here, I pull it up here, and there's these amazing little things happening back here behind the ears. I'm known for giving messy facials, and it's been 10 years. Our clients are still coming. They just know they're going to have to wash their hair when they get home. But who wants to miss this? Do you, Brandy? Brandy said, She can barely talk. She's already sleeping. Brandy said, no, I don't want to miss this. I don't want to miss this. And so it just kind of sets the stage. It makes us different. We immediately start caring for the client. I want them to feel the entire treatment almost as they're getting a hug from start to finish. Even though we're going to do some more aggressive things today. Cleanse my hands really quick. And let's get to work. Okay, so I'm going to show you the web towel technique. You don't have to use it. It's just the way I've been doing things. So I take the towel and I put it across both of my hands. Let's make sure you can see that. It's got a little makeup on it now. And then I just feather it down on the top of her forehead. Do you see how that works? Then we take both of your fingers. You can move your fingers around and gently hug the face. Notice I'm pulling all the way back. I lift my fingers and I move my fingers around on the towel. So that way you're getting to a clean part of the towel each time. And it's just a little mechanism. It's kind of move and clean, move and clean. Then I flip the towel around to a side that's much cleaner. Do the same thing. Now we're just going to move back and forth. I pull her head all the way to the side. See that? All the way. I give her a little stretch. Go down right in between the breast area. Clean this whole area, and I'm moving my hand as I go. What does it feel like, Brandy?
It's amazing.
Does it make you feel like you're getting really clean?
Yeah.
I move it to this side. I give her a little stretch. Pull all the way into the breast area. Come through the chest, up the neck. Move the towel. You want to move the towel around. I don't like to be wiped with the same dirty spot on the towel. In my opinion, that's gross. So you want to let your fingers move. Then I kind of look for some cool, clean parts of the towel. The parts of the towel that haven't been used feel different from the ones that have. They feel cooler and cleaner, right? Don't they? They're not moist and warm. So when you're cleaning, you want to continue to look for that effect. The client will notice. When they go to get a facial somewhere else, they're going to realize, wow, that was really different. And oftentimes what I hear is people say, I don't even know what they did. It just felt different. Everything felt cleaner. So I'm going to come back through, just like this. What we learned about Brandy is that these are her eyelashes, her original eyelashes. And they're big, and they're full of mascara. So I'm just going to work to get them a little bit cleaner. But at the same time, you know, you have to worry about timing. So if we can't completely clean it off, then we'll do the best we can at the end. I'm putting a little bit more gentle milk cleanser. And this time I'm taking a smaller brush and I'm wiping the eyelashes down. Brandy, any stinging or itching around your eyes when you put this product?
No.
So next step, Brandy, is going to be to use the enzymes. I'm going to go through them in stages. I'm going to put the pumpkin more on your chest and your neck because you are a little pink today. I'm going to use the gentle papaya enzyme on the face and around the eyes. And then we'll just see how you respond to that before we decide if we're going to do lactic or not. There are some areas that I wouldn't mind doing a little salicylic on. So we're going to start painting that enzyme right underneath her eyes. How does that feel, babe, in terms of itching or stinging?
I don't feel any itching or stinging yet.
Taking care of the eyes is super, super important to me. So we developed this new enzyme peel. You can see it. It's more gel consistency. Do you see how thick that is? It is designed for more sensitive skin types. It has all of the things that I love, which is like papaya and lemon peel, some apple. It's a skin brightener. It's got a little bit of tingly to it. But for the person that's more sensitive, it's very well adjusted in terms of pH and acidity levels and aggressiveness. So we're going to massage the enzyme onto the skin. I always put product on the top of my hand, it helps me not to waste it. And remember, as I said, I want to apply product down to the face, the neck, the chest. And look at the top of my hand. If you can touch my hands, they're completely dry. My fingers are wet, but even my fingers are drying off. What that tells you is I have not wasted product. And as an esthetician, your back bar is everything. That's your margin. That's where you're gonna make money on your facial if you learn not to waste it. How are you feeling, Brandy? Your skin is glowing. A little bit red where you have like some breakouts, but just positively glowing.
It feels good. It's not too blue.
Who waxed these eyebrows?
I pluck them.
Good. You don't want to wax. They're pink from the arching effect. They look so pink that I thought maybe you waxed them. I'm not a fan of waxing eyebrows. I think that if you apply wax and you rip and you rip and you rip, over time you're going to loosen up that delicate skin on top of your eye and it's going to cause them to sag. That's just my impression. I think you should arch the brows. All right, moving on. We're going to use our Enzyme 2 peel. I don't know if you can see that over there. That look good? This is a little bit more spicy. It's got some pumpkin enzymes in it. It's got a little niacin, a little cinnamon. It packs a punch. People will feel it. Sometimes you'll have red splotchy areas from the niacin. But guess what? It's not an acid. It can't burn the skin. This is the perfect enzyme for that person that says, oh, I want more, more, more. I don't feel the burning. Yet you're looking at them and you know they don't need an acid on their skin. They just need a good dose of pumpkin and niacin. How does that feel so far, Brandy? And let's check for red patches. So you see this red patch here. This is a little bit of dermatitis. This patch can show up in these places here on the neck and chest from what I just put on. But so far it hasn't. But it's common, and later when we cool the skin down with cold towels, it's going to make the little niacin patches go away. So I'm going to put a tiny bit here on her forehead so we don't waste it, because she's not red there. And then I'm going to take a look at her. My instincts are telling me that she is too sensitive today to put lactic on her skin. So I'm just going to go through the motions with you and kind of show you how that works. We're going to do it on her neck and chest, but not her face. So this is our lactic acid. It's 20%. It's perfectly buffered. I call it the bridal peel because you can use it on everyone. You can use it on a bride on her wedding day. You can use it on teenagers. And honestly, you can use it on yourself. I like to make sure I get a nice dropper full. I don't want to waste, so I apply a couple of drops and then I massage them in. Apply a couple of drops, massage them in. So then I kind of know exactly where my product is going. I'll put this over here so I don't spill it, like I did the other day. Apply a couple of drops, massage it in. It's that same process. So obviously if we were going around her face, like I'm going to put one tiny little drop by her eye right there. Sorry for that blink. Another tiny little drop right there. So instead of dropping it on the actual eye, I dropped it on my finger and just applied it right around the eye. We can take our little eye brush, massage that in. That's going to feel a little more itchy or stingy, I'm sure. But it's going to make her eyes look amazing on tomorrow. Tighter, a little bit swollen from the acid, which will in turn, make wrinkles look like they've disappeared until the effect wears off. Okay, let's review. We've got the regular enzyme all over the chest, the neck, and the face. We then went and applied the Enzyme 2 peel, which is pumpkin and niacin, a little bit stronger, all over the chest and the neck. After, we had a tiny bit that we put on the forehead, but there's no reaction. And then after we put our 20% lactic peel on the chest, the neck, and a tiny bit around the eyes, which we worked in with our makeup brush. Okay, so our next step is going to be again to put the warm towel on her skin. For Brandy, I let it cool down significantly because she's a little bit more red. Got a little bit of dermatitis there. I don't want to inflame her skin. But this warm towel is my steamer, so I have to make it count. Now we're going to let this peel sit for maybe just a minute or so until the towel cools off. And I'm going to do a little scalp work. So notice everything I've gotten in. I've got an amazing cleanser. We've done some dermaplaning with our popsicle stick instead of a blade. We created a peel, a customized peel for her that had 2 different enzymes and an acid. She got a neck and shoulder massage, and now she's getting this awesome scalp work. For me, I am not the kind of girl to do like this. Don't even know if y'all can see that or not. It's this, rank, rank, rank. I like to move the hair into place. And I think just by nature, I do a more sensual type of facial or type of work. I always have, but it calms me down and it makes my day go by really well. And I almost feel like I try to treat my client the way I imagined my mother treated me. She passed away when I was 2 years old, and my sister said she always laid by our bed at night and played with our hair like this. And so that's just kind of like my way of giving back. And it's a different sensation, right, Brandy? Mm-hmm. Does it feel a little more calming, soothing? But then also when I reach back and I pull the hair, I actually pull it into a ponytail and just squeeze my bicep. I'm not pulling back, I'm pulling forward with just a bicep squeeze. And I'm creating all of these endorphins, but also I'm making Brandy forget that I just put some Lactic that's a little stingy, some pumpkin that feels a little itchy, some niacin that kind of gets hot. I'm trying to make her forget all of that and really relax into the treatment and have faith in me. So let's move on to the next step, which is going to be to remove this. I'm going to clean my hands really quickly again. You'll see me do a lot in my treatments. Clean, 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 clean. We're going to take the towel. Again, we're going to use the mist. So we're going to use the mist over her skin for the rest of the treatment. And you haven't seen me use the mist yet today. There's actually 2 formulas. We've got the AW Clinical Mist, which is just a lightweight hyaluronic acid, what's called D2O heavy water, and then some really good extracts in there, and you can read about them. But then we have this guy, which is my personal love, my personal favorite. You guys hear me talk about it all the time on Instagram. It's called Liquid Moisture. You can see the moisture beads. It's the mist plus moisture. Same product, a little moisturizer. And for me, when I'm always breaking out, I'm scared to put lotion on sometimes. Sometimes I just don't want to put anything on my skin. And that's not healthy. So I worked on this product for a long time to make sure it would make me feel comfortable. That I would wash my face, and if I felt like I couldn't get any moisturizer, then I would just spray a little water on it and have all the moisturizer I needed. So I'm going to put this back, because if I continue to spray, we're going to get a lot of moisture and I'll get really shiny. I actually tell my girls, on your back bar, dilute your mist with distilled water. Because look at all of that water. We're going to use a lot of it in the treatment. Now I'm ready to remove the peel. Brandy, I know you're probably asleep, but do you feel any itching or stinging at this point?
Tiny bit.
Tell me where.
Chest.
Okay.
Forehead a little bit.
Okay. All right, so chest and forehead. What does that tell me? That's niacin, right? Because on her face, the only place I put an aggressive peel was on her forehead. So she's feeling that pumpkin peel. Now I have to work to get it all off. Start with my little towel technique. I'm going to get probably a better little removal of the lashes and the mascara this time. And we're going to work to make sure that we get rid of all the stinging. I'm being extremely gentle right now. How's your forehead, babe, after we cleansed it off? Still a little itchy?
Still a little bit.
And on what level from 1 to 10?
No, like a little.
Okay, good. So you're feeling the peel, but you're not burning, right?
No.
Okay, good. Does that scare you?
No.
Would it scare you if you were with someone else? It's an honest question. It's an honest question, you know?
I would probably be concerned if I was going to be really red or not.
It looks beautiful. That's something else too. You want to make sure that you tell your client how they're looking when they tell you how they're feeling. If they're telling you they're stinging, be honest with them and say, there's still a little redness on your cheeks. How is that feeling? Feels okay? But the forehead looks amazing. So this is just a little leftover niacin. I'm going to mist it again, and we're going to go directly to the Ann Webb grapeseed oil. I can fix just about anything with grapeseed oil. So we're going to do a tiny bit of grapeseed oil. She does have some breakouts, so I'm not going to go crazy with the oil. But I'm going to use it as a way to neutralize anything left over that's happening on her skin. That's immediately going to make some of the itch and sting feel better. There are going to be people that are going to feel the itch and sting probably right up until the oxygen. But they're going to be a small group, minority group, I would say. Most people start to feel better right at this stage. How are you feeling, Brandy? Tell us the truth, because I want everyone to know.
The sting's pretty much gone.
Okay. And do you feel like something has just happened? Like, oh, I just got a peel, but not overly stinging or itchy?
You're right, yeah. I feel really clean.
Look up for me, open your eyes, let's do a little work there. And no leftover stinging from the papaya, right?
No.
Brandy's not afraid to wear a little mascara, so we're going to work on that continuously as we go through. So what we're going to start working on now is creating a soothing treatment. We are going to do our vitamin C serum. Apply that to the skin. Open your eyes for me. The cool thing about our Vita C is that you can put it right on top of lashes. If you're someone that's struggling to make your lashes grow close, or you have very sensitive eyes when you're taking off makeup, it's my go-to product. I have tried for 12 years now to make something better than our vitamin C serum, or something that people would just love more. I feel like I make a lot of things that's great, but there's really something magical that happens with our vitamin C, and it has from the beginning. The tetrahexadecyl ascorbate was introduced to me over 10 years ago when I was helping Dr. Sergio Maggi deal with a burn wound case. And a rep came in and said, I need for you to buy this tetrahexadecyl ascorbate serum for me. Look up for me, sweetheart. To help your clients recover faster. Clients that have burns, wounds, traumatic injuries. Close your eyes. And I said, well, what is tetrahexadecyl ascorbate? And he said, it's vitamin C. And I said, no way. You can't put vitamin C on burns and wounds. It'll burn like fire, because traditional vitamin C was L-ascorbic acid. Look up. All right, girl, she's getting cleaner. And L-ascorbic acid, close, is a water-based form of vitamin C. It's used for skin lightening and brightening. It's used for a whole bunch of things. I mean, antioxidants. Probably that's the number one. You see it in the forms of products called Celic C, SkinCeuticals. And he quickly schooled me and said, absolutely not. This is a fatty oil-soluble vitamin C. Read Dr. Peregrine's research. It's about to hit, and everyone's going to know how amazing it is. It doesn't evaporate in air, light, and water. It's absolutely stable, and it's gentle enough to go directly into the eye area. That was mind-boggling to me. And it became one of the first products I ever made, and it's still one of my absolute very favorites. All right, last step. We have really gentle grapeseed oil and our oil-soluble Vita C on the skin. And now I'm going to put on the Web Customized Mask. Just like cleansers, I am not afraid to put a mask on my clients. I like to use a lot. And you're going to see why in just a second. There's always a method to my madness. So Brandy, I've been treating your eyes today. I gave you a little peel around your eyes. I did a nice cleanser to make sure we weren't leaving bacteria and makeup there. And then I'm going to finish off with just a little serum. And that will give you a good taste of what the Web add-on eye treatment is. It costs 20 bucks, but they do a lot more eye massage and give you just a little bit of extra love there. All right, let's check it out. Got our mask looking great. Don't be afraid to stand up. Look around. Make things perfect. You only get one chance to keep that client for life. And that was always my goal. Once I touched you, you were going nowhere else. You just weren't going to find the same kind of love down the street. That's what I wanted. You meant the world to me. This is one of my favorite parts of the treatments. Not every client feels this way. We're about to get into microcurrent and cold therapy. And I'm going to have my lovely assistant see if she can grab me a cold towel out of the fridge. So this is a microcurrent wand. You can get them for about $30 on the internet. Every student in our school is required to have it. And you can use it at 3 different opportunities. We could have used it to make the cleanser go deeper into the skin. We could use it to penetrate enzymes and acids. Or we could use it to penetrate the mask and the serums. Anywhere in the facial, or all 3 times if you're going to have that time because you're doing some major deluxe treatment. This high frequency wand actually gives off an electrical current. It sounds really scary. You probably can't see it. It's not nearly as scary as it looks, but it's not really comfortable as well. So you got to prepare the client. The other thing you probably can't see on the camera is that there is an infrared light in the wand that helps heal. So because we've done so much on Brandy today, I'm going to actually turn it down. We're going to clean it off because I touched it. And then we're going to get started. So I'm going to turn her head to the side. Brandy, you're going to feel just a little bit of a current here. How does that feel? Now, what I do for my celebrity clients before red carpet events is I turn this thing up high and I really work on the wrinkles because this machine is going to swell those wrinkles for the night. All we're doing is putting an electrical current into the skin, which brings in blood flow. If I pull it away like this for that little blemish, it helps to kill bacteria and makes the skin glow. And more than anything else, it makes the clients feel like they're getting something very special. I once forgot my wand for an event. Oh my gosh, my clients were beside themselves. They really, really wanted this treatment. So I had to run to a supply house, like 2 different supply houses in New York City, which is not fun. I was an hour in a cab back and forth to get this machine. It can be one of your most valuable tools because it's so simple and you can't hurt anybody with it. I'm not sure if you can see in the video, but after a while it takes the mask and almost starts to melt it into the skin. Now that she's used to it, I'm going to turn it up a little bit more. Brandy, you doing okay? Mm-hmm. She has a couple of tiny blemishes. I think those are just from tweezing probably and letting in a little bacteria. So I'm going to work on those guys. It does make a little bit of a funny smell, but then we're good to go. Now one thing you may not have seen in the video is that I had the lovely Callie hand me an ice cold towel before I started. It's sitting right next to me. by the time I put it on her skin, it'll be a tiny bit more room temperature. And that will be incredibly helpful, because we don't want to shock her with something that's too cold. We're going to give her a tiny bit more mist, cover the eyes. Some for her, some for me, some for Callie. All right, let's get that cold towel on there. Tell your client, sweetheart, I'm coming in with a towel. It's going to feel a little cold. I know you said in the consultation that you do get cold easily, so I'm going to start slow, okay? That's showing her that I was listening in the beginning when she was talking to me, and that I'm very sensitive to her needs, and that this is her day, it's her time, and it's my job to make it perfect. Cold towel comes on, I immediately take our little towel and start holding it up and covering the chest, keeping her a little bit warm. This is a time where a lot of you will want to do a shoulder and neck massage in your facial. That's totally optional. I want to show you one quick technique, and then we're going to take this mask off and finish the treatment. When I'm going in, and Callie, you may need to follow me, when I'm going in for the neck and shoulder massage on the client, the very first thing I do is put my hand down on the shoulder. At that point, I move my hand all the way back to the neck area. And if you can't see me in the camera, what I'm actually doing is I'm actually resting my body. And this is where I've been doing a facial, so I give myself a little stretch. I stretch my back. And all I'm doing is giving her a light squeeze. How does it feel, Brandy?
Good pressure.
Does it feel like too much pressure?
No.
And then I can work this area here. The trapezius and this muscle here near the shoulder is where we hold so much of our tension. All I'm doing is pulling back. I'm just pulling up and back. It's going to create so many endorphins that when they get out of that facial, they won't know what hit them. So if you're going to take the time in your facial to do a neck, an arm, and hand massage, please make this part count. A lot of times I see students take the arm out and they immediately start like this. I don't even know if they do this. They kind of start this massage here. The massage starts here, towards the back, moves down. I like to move, I don't know what my husband calls this. He's a massage therapist. Ringing. I love to do ringing. Everybody's going to love to do something different. When I work on the hands, look at those nails. I love to work this area of the wrist. There's magic that happens right here, right? Do you feel those sensations?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't that feel amazing?
Mm-hmm.
She can't talk at this point. I pull the hand back like that and make it count. I give her a little stretch. I make sure she feels some good energy from me, because I want that to stay with her for the rest of the day. And that is my arm and shoulder massage. I make sure that it's really, really well thought out. Okay, last step. One more cleansing on the hands. We're going to get you guys out of here. Give a little Brandy time to take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I'm going to take this cold towel off. I'm going to set it right down on the chest for just a second. Are you doing okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't feel nearly as cold anymore, right? Doesn't it feel refreshing?
Yeah.
Probably under these camera lights too. I bet it feels amazing. I'm going to lay that down like that. I'm going to pull this off like this. Now, see how I got it covering her eyes? That's for a reason. So many times I see clients come out and there's a little bit of mask or something hidden underneath the chin or the chest or somewhere. So this is your opportunity to really wet the skin down. So that way you can get all of Melissa's little green tea flakes off of her skin. Same process. I look for the end web towel technique. I gotta open it just like this. Lift it up. It's on both hands. Crinkle it down like that. Give a little baby hug. And gently remove the mask. Hug the skin. Pull back. Take your time. You should be as relaxed as her. Turn to the side. Swipe the chest all the way. Pull to a clean part of the towel. Keep moving upwards. This girl was not afraid to wear some mascara in here. So I just keep gently cleansing the area and hoping that I got as much off of it as possible. She's going to be a girl that knows she loves her mascara. So most clients are pretty lenient if we leave a tiny bit behind. We don't want to hurt the eyes. And they have their own special way of taking it off. Which should be super gentle, right, Brandy? Super gentle. Clean. Now, this is important. Take the towel, pull her back, get all that lotion off from under there. Don't leave your client greasy and wet. It's not comfortable. I actually like at this point, I move my little brushes out of the way, I move her neck, and I slip the pillow right out, just like that. Now I have full access to her. And I saw her take that breath. That was the breath of like, I feel so clean right now, right? She might have to go back to the office. It's the little things that matter in the facial, the little things that count. It's the little things they're not going to get anywhere else. And they're going to wonder what makes you so special. How'd this girl get so special? All right, let's look at you, babe. So this is at a point where if I wanted to extract these 1, 2, 3 little blemishes, this is where I would do it. But her skin is so perfect, and these blemishes are so small, I'm not going there. What I am going to do is take, and this is very important, watch very closely, because when most people come to our clinic, they want this salicylic peel. They've been getting it for years. Sometimes they don't need it, but they love it. So I'm going to tell her, sweetheart, I feel like you're a little too sensitive today to get the salicylic peel, but I want to treat the blemishes. So I'm going to take a Q-tip, and all I'm doing is a side swap. You don't want to take the Q-tip and press it like this. This is the dry side. You just want to side swipe areas that are breaking out. If her chin and cheeks were full of blemishes, we would obviously put salicylic there. We would also talk to her about a discounted laser treatment, so that way she can do the acne laser treatment and see if that'll help with the clearing. When I look at Brandy's skin, I think she could use some gentle IPL throughout here where she's starting to get slight forms of rosacea. This skin is gorgeous, and she and I obviously spend a lot of time in the consultation that you'll get to see. But we definitely want to spend more time figuring out why someone is young, with such perfect skin, is getting broken capillaries and redness across the cheek. It's early signs of rosacea. It's probably somewhere in her genetics. The way that I would help her is making sure that she uses really calm products. She uses the vitamin C. She never ever gets too aggressive. She doesn't ever extract this because it could break more veins. Never in her entire life should she let anyone touch this precious nose. And she could look at IPLs and things that could help to evaporate these little vessels under the skin that are now moving their way up and creating redness. I'm dealing with the same thing myself. Okay, I'm going to clean my hands one more time because I touched her hair. And we are going to finish up with a tiny bit of oxygen. My lovely assistant, I think we need to open up that drawer right there and get started. Tiny bit of vitamin C. Treat the chest and the neck as well. Especially if you did a full salicylic peel at this point. Your goal is to do the salicylic and not put cold towels on it. This should be enough. Brandy, I'm going to let you hold this oxygen wand just for a minute, sweetie. Bring it in close and put oxygen where you think you need it. I'm going to take it from you in 2 seconds. Just don't want to waste the oxygen. Because I want to mist her skin one more time. It makes the oxygen going on feel icy cold. I'll take that from you. Can you see the skin indenting where I'm applying moisture? It's just pushing the water into the skin. You want salicylate to self-neutralize on its own. If the client is starting to get nervous because of the stinging effect, and you have to put towels over it, the towels at the onset will make it burn more. You need to have ice cold towels and really keep the towels coming until you've cooled it down. But ideally you don't want to put any water on it. You want to just allow the stinging to go away on its own, which it will. If all the other things we did in the facial help the client to feel comfortable at the end when it comes time to do a little extracting or something that feels a little more steamy. So after we finish the oxygen treatment, I'm going to take a tiny bit of day moisture, apply it onto the skin. So she has some sunscreen protection today. Make sure I covered all the areas, I've cleaned her hair, and then I'm going to thank her. Thank you so much, Brandy, for helping me out with the video. And thank you guys for watching. I'm always available by email or cell or text if you have questions.